What is up, everyone? We are live downtown Austin. We're at Martin Luther King in Colorado. Game day just finished right here. They asked us to take over, take you guys into the game. We've got Tim in the chat. We've got Victor in the chat. Elliot, what's up, buddy? That is our champion from last week with our game pick at 30-0. And then we got Big Tex. What's up, brother? Yeah, let's go. We are live down here downtown for number 5 Georgia, number 1 Texas.
Things are starting to get rowdy a little bit.
Yeah,
It's a little sleepy when we first got here.
It's already 10 minutes ago it was dead, and now it's already pumping. I can't hear myself at this point. Welcome. So let's talk a little bit about last night's game with Oregon. Well, we really won't talk much about that.
I didn't watch a single snap. I was locked into BYU.
So that's the recap.
Oregon blew them out. Purdue did absolutely nothing. And then
Did Hudson Card get any snaps? He was completely washed for the season.
He did not play at all yesterday. Gabriel screwed me. He was 4 yards short of 293.5 passing yards. And then also the 2.5 TDs. Definitely pitched the ball forward to the running back. They counted it as a run. So we'll see. If you were in the chat, can you hear us? Because this is the loudest I have been here, and I can hear a damn thing.
I mean, there's a lot of background noise, but I still hear you guys just fine.
So just want to make sure everyone can hear there. But basically, the Oregon game, not much to talk about. They handled business after their big win before.
I was talking to you about that potentially being a trap game.
Yep.
With how Purdue's played in recent memory. Purdue's kind of known for having a random upset, on one of these random nights, Thursday, Friday night games. So them getting a chance to come in there, man, they took it to them.
Purdue went kind of up and down. Like they were terrible with Hudson.
I mean, it was at Purdue, right?
It was at Purdue.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It was. Yes.
Yeah. Makes a little bit more
honestly,
sense.
The first half was. I mean, Purdue didn't score at all, but they played a lot better in the first half, and then the second half they got a little gas there. But audio is good. Well, that's good news. All right, sweet. So then we had the BYU OK State game. Ollie Gordon, not 1 but 2 touchdowns yesterday. Welcome back to college football. He also talked a lot of track during that game. I don't know how much you guys watched that game, but
he was on probation. His probation officer wouldn't let him do anything on the field.
Well, he definitely tried a little bit. Oklahoma State looked good. Like at this point, third quarter, I was like, "Oh, BYU is just going to lose this game." Typical Big 12 fashion, and then they come back last couple seconds of the game, scored a late touchdown to win the game.
It was a wild end, dude. I was watching it, and Oklahoma scored with like a minute 20 left, and I've been riding BYU. I think I'm a big fan this season, and then watching that happen, I'm like, oh, we're done.
The entire state of Oklahoma is trapped right now, and I couldn't be happy. Like it's one of those like OU today. Yesterday with OSU is falling off the face of the earth. They did a lot of trash about Oklahoma saying, hey, you're not going to be ready for the SEC. While that's true, you guys haven't won a Big 12 game yet. So
yeah, it's crazy. It felt like we were kind of handing over the keys to them for them to kind of dominate for years to come. And they returned a lot of guys too to that team, and they just have not showed up. I mean, Gundy's got to be on the hot seat right now.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like Gundy's always done that. He's been mediocre.
Yeah.
I mean, they went to the Big 12 championship last year, got blown out.
Yeah.
But I think it may be coming time to an end, especially after his comments preseason on Ollie Gordon. Probably coming to an end there. But at the same time,
more so his drinking and driving comments.
Yes. Well, Big 12 and in general, like the original Big 12 hasn't done anything. It's all these newcomers that are doing something in the Big 12 right now. Like it's Arizona, it's Utah, like it's BYU. Iowa State is the only one that really has been able to establish it. Honestly, old Big 12, Iowa State kind of at the end was that team, but they haven't done anything for years also. So for them to be, they're still undefeated, BYU undefeated. It'll be an interesting matchup. I mean, honestly, it's those two right now for that Big 12 championship.
I'd be really interested to see what happens to Gundy if he did leave Oklahoma State. I mean, he's been there for forever, but he was kind of on a hot streak, and I thought he was going to leave to go to Florida, and I was actually a fan of that idea. But I think he kind of pulled the Matt Campbell and rode it a little too long, and I don't know where he's going to be after this.
Yeah, for sure. That Oklahoma State team's got a lot of question marks going forward.
Yeah.
It's time for BYU to get some respect in the polls. In my
Well,
opinion.
we're 6-0, 7-0.
The fact that they're undefeated, they've taken care of everybody that's been placed in front of them. I know their strength of schedule isn't as high as others, but I mean, you're sitting in a core 4 conference now, undefeated, and you have what, 5 one-loss teams in front of you now still. It's just kind of strange, man. I think BYU deserves to get a little bit more respect.
I mean, Pitt too. They're in that conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah. Well,
No.
Pitt. So Pitt, I think. I mean, they're going to be in the Big Ten championship at this point. No, Pitt.
Pitt.
They're going to be in the Big Ten championship.
I'm trying to check the Oklahoma game here, and I can't get any reception. Did they finish up?
Let me see. It was a bloodbath. So Oklahoma.
I know we said they were starting to come back because they had 9 points on the
comeback
board.
with 9 points. Let's see here. Yeah, they lost 35-9.
Okay.
35-9.
Mizzou comes back to beat Auburn 21-17 late.
Dude, I had such a hard
Wow.
time with both the Oklahoma teams because as a Texas fan, I obviously just want to see them burn. But I lived in Oklahoma for a couple of years, and I have my friends, and every time I'll send a text message, start trying to jab, and I instantly pull back. You'll be all right, buddy. I'll figure it out.
Let's see. So let's talk about game day real quick. I don't know if you said you woke up late.
Yeah, work this morning, man. I had to take a nap, so I'm going to be ready for the full day. It's a full day. It's a long day. I need a little nap. Now I'm ready to go.
I'm telling you, that's what I'm going to need after this because we still got a long ways to
It's
go
going to be a long
today.
day.
But for game day, you had, let's see, Tony Hinchcliffe decided to show up. First of all, he showed up at the Pat McAfee show yesterday.
Right.
And was weird. Showed up in golf shoes. Was weird on that portion. Said he was going to try a kick for the field goal. Shows up today. Starts talking about kids being a puberty lesbian. And Pat McAfee literally was like, okay, this is not the same show that you're normally on. Like even a roast, like it's acceptable, but
Yeah.
ESPN Game Day is not the time to be doing this. Shane Gillis has been on it before. He was there for the A&M Notre Dame game. He was very fine with that, but before that, it was just kind of like, whatever.
Tony is not the person for regular TV streaming.
No. So we do have our special guest. How are you? Let me get you set up real quick. Everyone stand by. Yeah, come on this side right here. It is test those. See how those work for you. Can you hear it all? Yeah? Good. Sure. Okay. So let me give a little bit. Let's see. So this is not your studio. I'm going to tell you this. So you're going to have to be close to this. You can hold it in your hand if you want. So let me give a little introduction. I may screw this up a little bit. It's 94.1, correct? 94.1 radio station. He is see, listen. Can you give me a couple of libations at the beginning? It is the name of your show in San Antonio.
Right
I
there,
practiced this.
right there in front of you.
I practiced this. Oh, there it is. Laying down the law. Okay.
I made it really easy.
Okay, perfect. So let's make, you're in there. Okay, perfect. So laying down the law radio station. So my big thing, you also played at Princeton running back, correct?
Correct.
Okay, with the Jason Garrett, the backup quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. Played a little bit.
Oh, yeah. You know what? He has 2 playoff wins.
That is true.
But
Okay.
no one was going to pay
That
him
is-
$60 million a year.
That is fair. That is fair. Also, attorney, correct? Which would be the laying down the law portion that you have added in.
Play on words.
Now, in the 90s, in Nebraska,
Grad assistant.
Grad
running
assistant.
backs. Receivers.
okay, perfect. 94 is what I saw. So were you there for the championship or what?
91 to 94.
That's what I saw.
I got go all the way through. So I did a national championship game when we got ripped off against Florida State.
Yes.
Went through the spring, very determined. Beat Miami in Miami, 24-7.
There you go.
Nice.
So all that to say, this is Stephen Foster. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I don't know why you're doing this with us
Why not?
because you are a professional. We don't know what we're doing, but we welcome you.
Thank you.
We,
Yeah.
we really appreciate you being
You
here.
know what you're doing. You're showing passion.
That's right.
Oh, man.
And in Texas, like the other 49 states, we love football. We're probably 1 to 1A if you ask California.
Yeah.
You didn't mention another guy who still has NCAA records, first team All-American, my roommate outside of football, Dean Kane.
Oh, yeah.
And the way we became best friends is because we challenged each other, California versus Texas. Who has the best?
Well, I would say at that time it was kind of borderline.
No, they didn't even know how to figure out they had a North and a South state champion.
Okay.
Figured out how to get one state champion for each class of football.
Right.
We win hands down.
Yeah.
Okay, so my first question would be, is Jason Garrett as bland as a football player? Like, he's just not really bland, but he is just a robot. Like, he's very, for the game,
So you have to
he's
remember,
very analytical.
seven brothers and sisters.
Okay.
4 boys, 4 girls.
Okay.
He was the quarterback out of the running backs, receivers. So he kind of took on the mindset, okay, everybody get together. So he's the one with the football camp that we go to and participate. So he kind of had that camp counselor mentality. And that's what you see. And maybe y'all need to come to Princeton and go to a weekend where he's running the camp and we're sitting down and having a good time. Yes, he is very analytical, and that's what you want from your quarterback.
Sure.
Right.
You want that opinion processor going quick.
Sure.
But as a person, he's not just a clapper, which almost got somebody who I don't even remember this kid knocked out. Because after about the 4th time, I said, hey, this is a very good friend of my football roommate and my teammate. And if you go with that clapper deal one more time, and I went to his buddy, and I said, listen, I'm going to do the Texas two-step a very specific way. Knock him the out.
This isn't ESPN. This isn't the radio. You can do whatever you want if you want to here.
No worries.
But also, I am a Dallas Cowboy. We have a Houston Texans fan. I don't know what.
I have no NFL
Yeah,
allegiance.
I'm a huge Dallas
I
Cowboys
bleed burnt
fan.
orange, and that's it.
Which that actually will segue me into the quarterback controversy that well, we say quarterback controversy that the Longhorns have right now.
No controversy.
So I was
Amen.
listening to Game Day this morning, and you can tell when I agree with you. So when Sark is talking about this, I can hear all the Texas fans groaning like, "This is Quinn's team."
What are you
Now,
groaning about?
I
What are you
have-
groaning about?
I am on the
You're
same
number
page
one
as
in
you.
the country?
Amen.
I've got Zach over here, who is Arch is an elite quarterback.
Okay.
Is Quinn elite quarterback?
Elite enough.
Elite enough. That's what I
Yeah.
need to hear. Also, this is Quinn's team. This man stayed with the Texas Longhorns.
That's immaterial. That's immaterial for 2 reasons. Not just for Texas. He needs a little more work and polish for the next, or for his employer. How about that?
Yeah.
He's going to college. He's going to class for an employer. That employer is going to have certain expectations. He's not going to try to get on-the-job training.
Right.
They're going to have him in. It works for some. It doesn't work for others. So the best thing you can do is learn all you can here before you go venturing off to your employer.
And so Sark has been being asked all these questions all week. So yesterday I watched Pat McAfee show. He's getting asked the same questions. Is there a point that you think, and I know the answer to this, but is there a point that you think that Sark decides, okay, we probably at what point does Arch come in the game? There's only one answer to this, and you know that.
When you start,
Thank you. That is the answer that
Absolutely.
I'm giving.
so
So,
let me tell you, when we won our national championship,
yep.
if you watch the highlights of that season, Brooke Barringer, rest in peace, from Kansas, died in a small plane crash. And Tommy Frazier literally switched in and out in the national championship against Miami.
That's wild.
You know what? Whatever quarterback, if you want to put the S on and get you a national championship in Atlanta, do that.
Okay, yeah.
Do that.
I like
And
that.
then all of the fans short were fanatic. So really, I love the fans. But in the locker room, I can't concern myself about what someone. The best and worst thing about technology is the best and worst thing about.
Correct. Yeah, that is correct. Do you guys have a question for Steven right now before we move on to our next topic? Because I've been talking this whole time.
I mean, I'm curious what your thoughts are on Georgia.
Good team.
Yeah, right.
Good team.
They're going to be our best test of the season by far.
Right.
How do you think we match up?
Well, I mean, it's very simple. I think this is a great game for the fans. I think it's a great game for the University of Texas. I think it's a great game for the SEC, just like Alabama and Tennessee.
Yeah.
I think there's more questions for me in that game than there is here today on the 40 acres of Texas. I think the clear advantage goes to Texas. Now, do they execute and not forget about the fundamentals of football?
Yeah.
If they're Tim Duncan on the football field,
Oh, hold on. We can't do that. No, I'm a Mavericks fan also, okay? We can't be bringing Tim Duncan into this, okay? That's not going to be acceptable. I agree with you. I
I
agree.
like the Mavericks. I'm a Texas guy.
Right.
I'm a Texas.
I can't do I'm born and raised in Dallas. The Longhorns,
You know, it's a very different city.
that is, that,
You
yes.
have y'all's own.
Whoa. Oh,
Is that
that
Pinky
continue.
Pinky
What was that?
Well,
Okay, you're going to include the Rangers in that? Because that, out of all the teams, the Texas Rangers baseball is my heart.
Okay.
So is that Pinky up too?
Well, you know, my guy Chris Young is.
I love Chris Young. I love Chris Young.
Princeton guy.
But also, I can't. If there's one thing I can't do, it's even say the name Astros. So that is just that.
If it came down to Cincinnati and Astros, you take the.
As long as they get obliterated, I could. No. Because I can't accept cheaters. Number one. Okay, that's number one. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Okay.
You're really gonna go on trash can?
Yeah.
So that's gonna make somebody a Major League Baseball home run hitter singing on trash cans.
As major league players, yes. Because number one, they're good enough already. If you know what pitch is coming, which is what they did.
I could call the first round draft pick Brian McCray right with Barry Bonds and the rest of them. He'll tell you that means absolutely nothing. He's not the only guy that said that.
I'm not allowed. We're talking football. We're talking football right now.
You know, as you said, today the sidebar is attorney at law. If someone introduces a topic, then it's fair game. So if you introduce Mavericks and introduce Rangers, then basketball, baseball.
So here's the problem: is the fact that I have met my match with an actual attorney.
I know, I hear you spew this all the time, but I don't know anything about baseball. So it's like, okay.
Yeah, this is where my problem is. My match has been made at this point.
Because you still have to hit it. You have to know the difference between a change up, a curve, now a
Which they did.
to a four. But that doesn't mean you can still hit it.
But it does.
Did you know that Mary Rivera
Yeah.
was throwing the cutter, right? We all knew that.
Oh yeah, that's a different game. That's a different ball game.
Why? You knew what pitch he was going to throw.
Because at that, especially in that stage of the game, that fastball with the speed that he's throwing in that stage of the game and the movement, which you didn't know which direction it was going to know, that is
You don't know all the pitches in the direction of 2 or 4 seam.
This is ridiculous. This is outrageous. Why did I bring up baseball?
My parents did you bring baseball better than football? So I love baseball.
Okay.
First thing I played.
So I flew to Arizona with my dad.
No women at the baseball stadium in high school.
That's true.
It's in the stadium in football in high school. I'm just going to tell you, that's what I'm about.
Did you watch any of the games today?
Songs, that's what I'm about.
That's right. Did you watch any of the football games today?
So I saw my husband get smoked by.
Well, what's up with that? That was one of the games we were going to talk about.
Well, because Dylan's only played 6 games.
Pat Mahomes.
But he's Pat Mahomes in college. 6 games into Pat Mahomes.
Right. What is your
Mahomes was a Pat Mahomes in the NFL 6 games in. He wasn't that at 10.
What's your thought process on the fact that he does anything and everything Pat Mahomes?
Great.
Okay.
I emulated Chuck Foreman. I was on the Little Vikings, and I've met Chuck because Jay Foreman went to Nebraska.
Yeah.
A good friend of mine helped recruit him class of '97. I did everything that Chuck Foreman did. I had the 44. I can show you the photo. First grade, Eastwood Optimist in El Paso, Texas. I did everything that Chuck Foreman did.
But there's something to say about that portion. There's something to say about literally. I bet you he looks up what Patrick Mahomes' meals are the day before games, and he will eat the exact same meal.
I don't think if there was the internet, I would have done that about Chuck Foreman.
I don't think there's any problem with it, except for the fact that he says that he's not.
Yes, that's the only problem.
Not. If he just embraced, like, he's my idol, I mimic him, it'd be completely fine. But he says he's not, but everything's the same. That's why people talk about it on the internet.
Correct.
But I've had interviews where coaches have told me what blank before a game. If Mike starting or Johnny starting. Johnny's starting. And guess who started? Mike. So you don't hold the coach to it.
Right, yeah, you're right.
Dabo Sweeney says, they should be happy about room and board. Like I was playing at Alabama in 92. Well, then take the 92 head coach salary.
Yeah.
Dabo. He takes the 2024 salary of $5 million.
For sure.
Take the 92 salary from Alabama. He won't do it. I love this because there's so much money. It just makes you think. And a lot of people say stuff that may not be very much attached. And I just want people to think and have fun when you make them think.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's nothing worse than having traffic behind us because every time I hear a screech, the brakes. How many people need to fix their brakes right now? Like,
I think we ought to get sponsored by like A1 Brakes or something like that.
Yeah,
I think that'd be awesome.
Like this is pandemonium. Apparently, there's a Milrow INT, according to Joe.
Back to the Dylan Raiola thing. I don't think the Raiola thing is crazy. I mean, he's a true freshman. And it's the same thing with, I can never say his last name, the Tennessee quarterback. They're both true freshmen. There's a lot of high expectations. They come in, they perform well, and all of us expect that we're going to watch them be a Heisman candidate. There's going to be setbacks. And so watching the performance today is not surprising. We have to reset what we're thinking. True freshmen.
Yeah, Tommy Frazier, same issue. He won a lot of games. He went to a bowl game. But he wasn't the same touchdown Tommy freshman year as he was sophomore, junior, senior.
Yeah,
sure.
He's not going to break the 9 tackles against Florida as a freshman.
You a Matt Rule fan?
Yeah.
I am. I thought he should never let Baylor like that. I think he did a really good job. But
yeah. I mean, everybody has confidence in him, but he's a program builder.
Yeah. He's not an NFL coach, but he is definitely a college coach.
And there's some head coaches that should be coordinators.
Correct.
Right. They should be colonels, not generals.
Correct.
There's no issue with that. I'm older.
It's where you thrive. Yeah.
One of the greatest shows for fun as a sitcom was Hogan's Heroes. General Clink, that Colonel Clink.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I thought Nebraska, like just watching some of this stuff, they had their hype room that I don't know if I'm sure you've seen it, but that hype room right before they go out into the stadium, it's like, they've thought this out a lot. Like Texas has a little bit of that too, but what Nebraska's put into their program,
Texas is pretty substantial.
Now that
they even changed up the back facade of the stadium from the white background with the orange
correct
to the orange with the white. So they think about a lot of things.
Well, that's what I guess. Actually on game day they talked
much
about
love
this.
to the Coors Banquet. That's my favorite beer.
Yellow
right
Belly.
there.
Yellow Belly is where it's
Yellow
at.
Belly
is that's my go-to. But I was listening to game day and they talked about this, how Saban, Miss Terry was that. She was the production of the stadium. Like she would go to away games and say, "Hey, why don't we do that?" And then they talked about how we hired a guy from Penn State 4 years ago, and that's why we're starting to see those changes as far as in-game production and all that.
Saban wasn't an overnight success. A buddy of mine tells me an overnight success takes about 15 years.
Correct.
And if you look at his travels, he learned, he educated himself, he got that mindset that he instilled with the staff that also believed that same mindset, came up with the national championship. It took him about double-digit years.
Correct, which is fine. But as far as like the stadium atmosphere,
okay.
that is what Miss Terry then did, which would be his wife.
It's like the first lady in the White House, right?
Exactly. And they go everywhere together. I saw they went to Formula One yesterday. He got in the car. She was right there with him. I love Saban in the game day era now. He's starting to open, especially with Pat McAfee. He's starting to open up. You're starting to see, and even Sarkisian talked about today. Like, and Saban said, all the guys that texted me like, "Who is this guy that we worked with for all these years?" Like, it's not the same guy. he's finally opening up and seeing college football life outside of being in the stadium and having to get his players ready. He's starting to experience that from the outside, and that's a cool thing for me to be able to see him experience.
100%.
So you guys nothing bad today. 56-7.
And a lot of it was self-inflicted.
Yeah.
Raiola was throwing flat-footed. I don't think he recognizes that better teams in college are different than better teams in high school. He's only 7 games removed.
Sure.
Right. You also had the Zoo end up coming back and winning finally. They were down 17-14. They beat Auburn 21-17. Army-Navy. Like, this whole tandem is going to be cool to watch the rest of the year. I'm hoping for their G5 entry. I want them to be the last game.
One of them should get in.
Yeah.
That'd be great, huh?
That would be awesome. Still Alabama, Tennessee 0-0. Oklahoma
got smoked.
Oklahoma just got drilled. And
you know what? They also have a freshman quarterback.
Nope. They brought in Arnold.
Yeah, they brought in Arnold.
Yeah.
But they started off.
Right.
But at the same time, like, they do. But the problem is the difference with Texas right now and Oklahoma is Texas had their 2s and 3s would be starting in a lot of these colleges right now.
Correct.
That's what Sark has done, in my opinion.
You need depth.
The amount of depth that he has right now is so good, and that's why you see what we're seeing right now. Everyone's excited about this game. Normally, 3 years ago, like when it was LSU Texas, we're coming in hoping like we're Texas. We come with pride.
Like Jesse Jackson.
So exactly. Keep hoping. Yeah, that's right. We're talking a big game, but in the back of our heads, we're like, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
This is a different atmosphere now. Like, and it's a deadly combination having Texas fans being confident, like actually confident. Now we're getting to the point of a deadly conversation because I am through the wall. I'll run through a wall right now for this Texas team. Like,
hopefully the players will do this.
and that's the thing. It's not just the way they're playing. It's the what gets me excited is the culture that Sark has built, and he talks about this all the time.
Word.
It's like the culture word is like that. That's bigger for what our team is right now, and that's what we're building. I mean, we had the SEC welcoming party here in June, like middle of June.
And that's for a purpose. That was for a reason.
And there was 175 degrees,
Yes.
but everybody showed up. There was over 200,000 people out here
Set
easily.
the tone for the culture, yeah.
And that's what Sark has built. I mean, people forget really easily. He was 5-7 his first year.
But look at his travels. Look at what it took for him to finally now arrive here. And all of those past circumstances has given him the, I guess, categorical coaching ability to now pull from all of that to create the culture, build the depth of a number 1 team in the nation.
Yep, right.
With all the resources as well.
I mean, he was talking about that on I forget where I heard it this last week, but he was talking about his time at Washington and realizing, looking back now, how sporadic he was and how inconsistent he was as a head coach. Not that he didn't have the knowledge or the skill set for calling plays, but just as him as a consistent person to coach a team, he didn't have it. He had to learn it as this process went on. And now he's developed the culture that we have today. And I mean, it's paying dividends now. Got to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. That interview was super cool to hear him talk about all the coaches that he's been underneath and him being a head coach and kind of talking about him being emotional, how he was, if it was hot, he was hot. If it was cold, he was cold. He couldn't find out how to be himself. And that's what these great coaches, like he was saying with Pete Carroll and Bill Belichick and Nick Saban, these guys are so comfortable with themselves and the way they do things. Everybody has the same goal at the end of the day to win a championship, but Pete Carroll has a completely different way of getting there than Bill Belichick or Saban. And it was cool just hearing him kind of talk about Sark, just finding himself, finding a comfort zone, and now he's got these guys buying in. The culture around this is huge right now, and you got the players actually buying into it. You feel it, and the emotions are stable, and that's what I'm interested to see tonight. Is our emotions going to be stable when we come out? This game is going to be high strung when we come out, and we have to figure out a way to stay across the board and not get overly emotional and make these self-inflicted plays like we've used to see Texas make in the past.
I think what over emotional plays you do not want to see is that personal foul.
Sure.
Or taunting.
Yep.
You need to be very business-like when you get into the end zone. Make a stop. Celebrate with your team so you can get the crowd ridiculously hyped. Don't take a 15 for that.
Sure.
Right. Not for that one, but the Michigan game, like when they're going after Quinn and they're doing the late hits and everything, those are the top. Like the Oklahoma game, like
I expect the linemen
and they
to protect.
those guys are getting in
Right.
there, and that's what you see is like these guys want to protect both these quarterbacks, not just Quinn, but they want to protect ours. And this whole team like really is a fine balance right now. And Sark talked about how he's not sacrificing character for talent. And that's one of the big things that he's growing with his team is he's not
But
sacrificing.
you got to balance.
Correct. You need the talent too. Let's be
Listen, we
clear.
had some guys at Princeton that I wouldn't say had their best of behavior.
Right.
And, you probably never read about it because it wasn't in the SEC. But we had our own mix of football student athletes.
I'm gonna tell you, I tried looking up stats from the time you played at Princeton. They just didn't document anything. I can't find
Not
that.
because it was all in paper form.
Yeah.
It was in Athlons, it was in Street and Smith. It was all that type
What
of
was
stuff.
it, 84 for your first year?
84, and they made us play a freshman football year before we went to varsity.
Ah.
But if you do Google, as the Indiana coach will Google me, there's New York Times sports articles. It's kind of cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
I'm
tried.
very appreciative of it.
Oh, absolutely. I tried to do everything. Also, let's talk about my alma mater, Harding University, getting a shout out on game day. Have you heard of Harding University? They're the D2 school. They're the champions, Harding University.
No.
They're the current Division II champions.
Where are they based?
Searcy, Arkansas, just north of Little Rock.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Congrats.
Thank you. And we're going back to back. We got called out, so they're playing number 9. They said Wachita. It's Wachita. So first of all, let's it's Wachita Baptist.
Yes.
But we have outscored.
Do you know who went to Wachita Baptist? Who was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame from the Dallas Cowboys? I can't give you any more hints than that.
Oh no!
He just got inducted a year ago.
A year ago, he played for the Cowboys. Oh, this is going to be ugly.
I don't have this. Blue.
Secondary guy.
It's not Woodson.
Thought you were a fan, TJ.
Old school.
Secondary old school. Oh, this is going to be ugly. I'm going to call out for this.
His counterpart was Charlie Waters. Help him out, fellas.
These guys.
I don't know NFL.
Yeah, there's no way. How? What years was he playing?
He was in 70s, 80s.
Like all the guys that are popping up, it's like Rayfield Wright. Like all
Okay,
these
with
old,
them.
okay.
With them.
Yeah, I know, but like it's all these guys.
Secondary. There's one guy you're missing, and it's obvious.
No.
Let's tap out.
Okay, I'm tapping.
Cliff Harris.
Wow. Wait, he just got inducted in the Hall of Fame?
Last year. Pro Football Hall of Fame. I
Wow.
have a photo with him.
So Wachita. Okay.
Because that's how I learned how to say it.
So Harding has outscored their opponents 366-17 this year in 6 games so far.
Wow.
And their passing yards is they've probably had 20 at this point in the game or in the season. They probably had 30 passing attempts all year. They run the triple option the entire time, and there's not a single team that can stop them. I need you to look them up because it's unprecedented what they're doing at this era of college football, running the ball. We got called out on game day, so that is my alma mater. I'm rooting for you boys. Number 1, Harding versus number 9, Wachita Baptist. Let's smoke them tonight.
There you go.
Let's start talking about the rest of this game coming up. Michigan is down 6-0 to Illinois. Navy is smoking 38-0.
Yeah, I wouldn't have said that right
losing.
either.
A&M's losing 7-0. What are we doing?
I showed him the Cliff Harris.
Oh yeah, Wachita. It is correct. Valid, verified.
You know when you hear that name.
Oh yes. The other one that we played was UCA. And of course, now I bring it up. It's a basketball player. It's not a football player. But there is a Sugar Bear. We had some weird mascots that we played. The UCA Sugar Bears. I want to say it was Scottie Pippen. that played at UCA, but it's somebody similar in that world.
Central Arkansas?
Yeah, UCA. Is that correct? Okay, I was correct. Okay, thank you. Okay, so it's a little bit.
Weird mascots?
Yeah.
Okay.
Weird mascots, though. Like, we're the bison, which is the real animal that is in North America.
Not the buffalo.
But buffalo. It's absurd that Colorado has Ralphie the bison.
You love this.
Who I almost was run over by.
No way.
So I would go out early with the specialists, and I talk about this every time I see CU, which I hated way before Dion or anything like that. I'm catching kicks and punts, and they let Ralphie out, and he actually was a she, knows just one route, and they've got 6 guys holding on to these ropes.
Oh, yeah.
But it's really the bison doing what the bison knows when they've trained. Well, the bison doesn't know, oh, there's Steve about to catch a punt. Maybe I should go around him. So literally about after I caught the punt, I had to make my own little 5 to 6 yard break because here came
Oh, no.
the animal in the 6 yahoos from CU.
That's cool.
And then along with the snowballs with the rocks in them.
Oh,
from
yeah.
The students.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
We're with an attorney. We gotta throw in allegedly every so often here.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's wrap this up. Let's talk about the game real quick. What are your keys for the game this week?
Always, because the cardinal sin is turnovers.
Yep.
You got to win the turnover battle. Do not cause them, do not create them for yourself.
Yeah.
I think that in a game like this, when you have highly powered, highly matched and ranked teams, or any game, turnovers, disrupt. You don't have to sack a quarterback, but disrupt the timing of an offense.
Right.
And press the hot or the quick outside receivers. On the offense, you want to establish some sort of running game. And I don't care if you use the pass to set up the run, but it can't go away.
Correct. Like it? Seth, what about you?
I mean, obviously, Quinn's performance, which Quinn we're going to see today, is always the big factor that's going to dictate the game. But my biggest question is,
Yeah, baby.
Cheers.
We're taking city steps alone, ladies.
but the biggest thing that I have this question mark is how well. I mean, everybody's been praising our offensive line as one of the best in college football, but what tests have they had? Today they get to prove it. If they can hold up strong, I think we're going to be just fine. Giving Quinn a clean pocket, that's the biggest question mark, and the thing that I think will have the biggest impact on the game.
Yeah, biggest thing I'm looking forward to tonight is going to be the Georgia pass offense versus our secondary. Secondary's played good all year, but we haven't seen an offense with caliber of this quarterback and this wide receivers and this explosive players this far in the season. So I'm most interested in seeing that Georgia pass game versus the Texas secondary.
So for me, it's going to be the second half because we saw against Georgia, Alabama, how Georgia they're getting beat the entire first half. And here comes Kirby Smart, changing the game plan, making those correct calls of changing that up, getting them back into the game. Whatever we do in the first half, we're going to do something different in the second half. And I think that's going to be a big key to this.
Well, shorten the game with the running attack.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to have the crowd behind you. It's going to be difficult to hear changes by even the best of quarterbacks because there's not enough time and hand signals to be able – because the defense knows what they can jump in and out.
Correct.
So a lot of times I really didn't like audibling unless it was obvious that someone's going to come off the corner.
Yeah.
Because you can wall the middle, in my opinion, close the A-gaps, center in the guards, just walk. 3 guys in the middle. Anything here gives a guy in a clean pocket a chance to dump or go. You find the crease, use it, get down. I don't need you to get 20 yards. Give me 4 or 5 so I can reset the down and go from second or third down. So
Sark doesn't work on running that clock, though. He is at this stage of the game, he wants to blow Georgia out. Now, he wants to control the game at some point.
But why give Kirby Smart an opportunity to come back on the road against you when you have all the advantages in your favor?
I agree. You do it in the second half, though. He's going to come out flashing. That's for sure.
Oh, no. You said second half.
Okay.
And I
so
said
we're talking shorten second. Yes.
I said shorten the game in the second half.
Correct. Yes.
Wide open in the first half.
Yeah.
The other thing that I need is going to be Texas fans. You guys want to come out here, you want to talk all the trash on Twitter and everything else, that's fine. Show up to this game. You want to be loud because I've been to all these home games like most of us have. You got to be loud the whole game. And that is going to be a big key, is showing everybody in the SEC you don't want to come here, because we've never had that before. It has always been the wine and cheese crowd. That's something that we have got to change in our culture.
So you're not going to change that.
Correct.
So what you need to do is have the wine and cheese crowd loud when it matters.
Correct.
Yeah.
I agree.
Man, I feel like we've already gotten
first.
We've already walked down that path a decent bit. The environment in the stadium has changed so much in the last 5 years.
Agree.
So much.
We're almost there to where we can be the Alabamas of a couple years ago when they were winning all the time. They'd show up, they'd be loud to a point.
Yeah.
But we need to be loud all the time, especially games like this. We've got to get up. We've got to hit that decibel level. I know Sark wants to hit that decibel record.
Oh, it's going to be crazy.
It will be loud today. So, last thing, well, two things. Number one, who's your favorite touchdown? First touchdown, who's it going to be? First touchdown score.
I'm taking help.
Helm?
I got a bet on it already, so I need
Is it going to be a hurdle with a touchdown?
No hurdles. No hurdles this game. No hurdles.
I'm going to go with the running back. You know, I'm biased.
Do you want Blue or do you want Wiseman?
Probably going to be Wiseman.
Wiseman? Okay.
Yeah.
I do think Wiseman will get a little bit more looks this time based off of the way he played against Oklahoma. Who do you got?
I'm going Wingo.
God, no!
I think Wingo gets in. Heck of a freshman, man.
Oh, dude.
And I think as soon as he touches that ball, his eyes are going to light up. He's going for the end zone. So I'm going Wingo.
I'm going Golden.
Golden.
So mine was Wingo. You stole it. It's between Golden or Moore for me. Bond will play today, by the way. We just don't know how much he's going to do.
Sure.
So last thing, score prediction. If you need us, Pat, we've already done this a little bit, so we can have you.
I'll go 31-24.
31-24. Okay. You can change it. You don't have to tell what you did on the podcast.
I was going to say, did he just take mine?
Sorry.
Yeah, okay, good.
I got 41-24. That's what I said last week. I'm sticking with it. 41-24.
I got 34-20 Texas.
34-20. Okay, I'm sticking with mine. I'm still on the gas pedal here. I'm all in on this team. It's 45-14. Texas blows them out. It could happen. The way Georgia has been playing right now.
What did I say? 34-21?
31.
No, I said 31-24.
Yeah,
31-30. Let me go 38-24.
Okay.
Make it two touchdowns.
Yeah, I like it. No matter what, we're covering the spread.
Yeah.
What are we still at -5?
I haven't even
It's
looked.
kind of
Haven't
crazy
looked
that we're
today.
-5 still, but I guess Georgia's going to get their respect, even though they haven't played very well. Okay, that being
Cool.
said, we're going to let everybody get ready for the game. Thank you guys for joining us in the chat.
Thanks for having me.
Steven, thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Appreciate it,
man. We
Appreciate
really
y'all.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Laying
much.
down the law.
Laying down the law. San
Tomorrow
Antonio
morning.
Radio, 94.1.
Yeah,
Can you
7
listen to
a.m.
it online?
Yes, you can. SA Sports Star, and the S's are together.
And what do you talk about on that?
We're probably going to talk unfortunate NFL, the differences between the Cowboys and the Texans, but we'll start.
Okay,
We'll
that's
start.
perfectly
We'll
fine.
start with college football.
That's perfectly fine. The Cowboys are dog water right now. I am typically a ride high guy on the Cowboys right now. We're in shambles. It's going to be ugly. I'll listen to that definitely tomorrow morning. We will be listening to you. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We appreciate you. We'll see you tomorrow for the post game whooping and going over all that. Okay,
Welcome,
boys.
y'all.
Okay.